Yorana! Hello everyone! Hi, bonsoir, bonjour, Yorana! Hi, Muito Rivera here, CEO and co-founder of POLYLINGUAL. I just want to say hi to everyone and welcome to our Reo and Ori Talk. It's a live series that I started last week, and we will be continuing talking about these important topic of conversation until the end of the week. And today, I would like to welcome a special guest that I probably doesn't need introduction, but I would like to welcome Mevina. So Mevina, hold on, I'm gonna send you an invite right now to join. Here we go. Get it. All right. And in the meantime, while Mevina is connecting, oh, there he is. Yay! Yorana, konnichiwa.
Ohayou gozaimasu.
Ohayou
Yorana.
gozaimasu. I still don't know Japan. Oh my gosh, Japanese, I need to learn. Maruru Mete, Mevina, welcome for this live that we're doing. I'm so super humble and super excited to have this conversation with you. And thank you so much for your time. Maruru Mete.
And Maruru, thank you so much. It's an honor. It's a pleasure. I support 100% everything that you're doing with POLYLINGUAL, as well as your husband, who's my big brother, Steve. And honestly, just thank you guys for everything you do for the community. I just got off the phone with my mom, and she's just going on about how much Steve and Moinel help out with everything and how talented your daughters are. And besides just the Reo Tahiti stuff, like I really miss you guys.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Oh, my goodness. It's been so long. And, you know, we're all busy, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to find the time. That's why I really want to thank you for your time, because I know you're busy right now, too. You're doing a lot of stuff. I've been following you on Instagram. So thank you so much. Once again, thank you so much. Everyone, let's welcome Mevina. Send him like a like, emojis, or whatever you want. Let's give him a warm welcome. And yeah, go Angels. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, Steve's gonna be happy now. All right. Okay, so Mevina, let me introduce Mevina to everyone. I think he doesn't need introduction, but I would say no matter what, because I think it's important. So Mevina is very well known all over the world, even in Tahiti. Even the smallest island in French Polynesia know about Mevina. The smallest probably in the Tuamotu Island. I don't know. Everybody knows. He is known for many things. He's an artist. He was born and grew up in a very talented family. Everybody's talented in your family. He came from the Liufau family, the Nonosina family, grandson of Graham, who is the founder of Nonosina, and people know him all over the world with his group in Japan, Tavakerereata, and people know him also as a musician, singer. I mean, he had released so many songs that made such an impact in the Ori Tahiti community, and even the Ori Tahiti community in Tahiti. And so he's just incredible. So thank you so much, Mevina, for joining us. And I really, I'm so excited to have this conversation with you. So let's start. Mevina, first of all, I would like to start talking about the amazing, incredible work you have done in Japan. I know you've been there for more than 10 years now. So tell me a little bit about it.
Basically, me and my wife, we came here in 2010, and we started our own Ori Tahiti group, and people were already dancing Ori Tahiti here, but we felt that we wanted to, give it a try and share what we know with the people here. And 11, almost next in January, be 12 years. 12 years later.
12 years. Wow.
Yeah, we're still here, and we love it. We love the dancers, the people that support us. We've seen Ori Tahiti grow so much while we've been here, and we'll never stop. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, but next year we'll be moving back home. And
Yeah.
my wife and I will be going back and forth to Japan. So we'll never leave Japan. Japan is definitely our second home away from home for us. And we love our group, Tavakele de Ata, and we try to enter as many competitions as we can. Of course, our goal is not just to win, but our goal is to share what we learn about Tahitian culture, Tahitian language, Ori Tahiti, and yeah, that's what we do. That's what we love to do.
Oh my gosh, you're so humble when you say that, because you guys have made such an impact in Japan. Thank goodness for the digital space, you know, for social media and stuff. We know a little bit of what you guys are doing, and thank you for sharing, because we're so far away from each other. But it feels so good for us, you know, seeing that you guys are doing such an amazing job. I want to highlight Napua here too. I know we don't talk too much about her, but I'm sure she does a lot of work behind the scene. And so I want to say thank you, Napua. I'm not sure she's listening or watching, but she has been like a big engine, you know, behind everything you guys do.
Oh, definitely. I really couldn't do anything without her. Of course, a lot of people know me from, you know, I make the music or choreography or blah, blah, blah. But really, a lot of the thought process on how we try to do things, not just try to copy things from Tahiti, but take these different perspectives in stories and things like that, and try to bring them to life to an audience here in Japan or even around the world.
Right.
It's really her who really tries to think and put these things together, and who actually keeps me together as well as a person. So.
Oh man, we need that person. Eh? We need that person.
We always need that person. Yes.
I know, if not, we'll just go whack everywhere. But yeah, thank you so much, Napua, because you know, with a lot of stuff you have done, like I've seen a lot of behind the scene, like even videos and photos on Instagram and or whatever, every social media accounts that you guys have, and I'm seeing her always like in the background, like doing something. And so I see that how much she's very, very involved. So I want to tell her thank you, you know, for doing this. And even your daughters, I'm sure they're like going, like following you guys along everywhere with everything you do, right?
Oh yeah, they're growing up the same way I did, just in Japan. I grew up, you know, every day after school, going to practice, going to deeply, you know.
That's the life.
Yeah, it's the life, but we try to balance their schooling with dance and things like that. You know as well.
Yeah, we're in the same basket. Sometimes like, just shut up, just follow, and then we'll deal with you later. Oh my gosh, poor kids. Anyways, okay, so now I wanted, you are one of very, very few people who has traveling to Tahiti, the US and Japan, but not only travel, like work by learning, by teaching the Ori Tahiti in all three places, because not too many people have done that. As far as I know, you're probably the only one. And I wanted to ask you, I was curious to know, like, what is the difference you have seen, you know, in these all three different places? What is the difference you have seen? In the Ori Tahiti, like.
Yeah, it's so different. I think for Ori Tahiti, I mean, I had the chance to teach there and be a part of the, not just be a part of the Heiva, but to choreograph for the Heiva Tahiti. That in itself was probably the biggest honor for me, but at the same time the most stressful, because you're teaching Ori Tahiti and you know the Reo Tahiti and everything to Tahitian people. Yeah. And you know, I'm the only one not Tahitian. So it was a lot of pressure on me, of course, and gosh, that was the best experience. So it comes with the different mentality when you're teaching in Tahiti, or when you're even doing a show in Tahiti. Yeah, because it has to resonate with the people. You know, you can't tell them, oh, this is the story of Maui. Do you know who Maui is? And then people would be like, you know, like, oh, come on, man, who is this guy? Get him out of here, you know? And so then, again, when you're teaching in the U.S., because I'm from the U.S. and because I was born and raised in Anaheim, California, we try to connect on a different way. So especially with Nonosina and even continuing on till this day, a lot of us are Polynesian American, or we're first or second generation Polynesian. So we kind of all identify with Ori Tahiti because it's one way that we can portray our culture to people within our own environment, or people, you know, in our social groups, and that's how we identify with our identity. So that's we kind of go along that route. Now, teaching in Japan, it's totally different because again, and I've been here for so long, but I absolutely do not speak Japanese. Like, my Japanese is very basic. Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. We live in the middle of Tokyo, and we live in like this bubble. They're like everywhere you go, people speak English, or we have a lot of foreigner friends. But anyways, there should be no excuse. But in Japan, it's different because, and people always say like, oh, they're so disciplined and things like that, but they really are. Yes. You know, they're really passionate about learning about Ori Tahiti. And so because there's that language barrier, we try to basically create, when we're doing a presentation or theme, something that they can relate to.
I love this.
You know what I mean? And
yes.
At the same time, not take away anything from Tahitian culture. It has to be something that people in Tahiti can relate to, other Polynesian people that can relate to. I even teach a lot, well, before, I haven't been there forever, in Mexico. And there's certain things that they can relate to, you know what I mean? So
yes.
It's finding this common bond that, I don't know, that Ori Tahiti has, and that's what we really try to do.
Oh, I love that. Wow, you're really sharing like the true experience here. But it's true, because I think we're so different because of our culture, right? And I can relate that so much with what you're saying, because I do teach Reo Tahiti with different people from all over the world, even Japanese. And I have Japanese students. I'm always excited to teach them because they're super awesome. The most like disciplined students ever. They're always on time. I mean, has nothing to compare with the US, but what I'm saying is I have also to find the like to relate to them, because even with the language itself, it's so hard, because sometimes they just don't get it. And why? It's because we don't have, in like comparing our Tahitian culture and Japanese culture, we have some similarity, but sometimes we don't, and it's so hard to like explain and try to transmit the message. And I love that you say that, because you have to find that balance in between, so we understand each other and they get it and you get it also. So wow, that's awesome.
And especially for Japanese, because the Japanese language itself is so different from English or any, you know, land-based language, and the vowels are very different. So imagine teaching them in English to be translated in Japanese, and then they have to say it in Tahitian, you know?
Oh yes, I'm going through that every week. I'm so glad. It's challenging. It's challenging. Yeah. I get it. So we can see, because that was actually my next question. I wanted you to tell me about the Japanese students, but you already talked about that, like how different, you know, they are comparing to you know the Ori Tahiti students in the US. You know, that was my next question. Now I wanted, still talking about the Japanese students, do they understand the importance of the Reo Tahiti? And I'm not talking about the entire language, but do they understand the fact that the Reo Tahiti is part of the Ori Tahiti? Do they understand that?
Yes, it's funny you said that. It's because during the beginning of the pandemic last year, we had to stop classes. We couldn't meet in person, just like every other group around the world. We had to move everything to Zoom. And so what we did was, we felt like this was the best chance for us to really focus on the Reo Tahiti and to try to understand each other better, especially if we're communicating over Zoom. There's so much translation and things like that. So it's exactly what you did with this new ebook that you're coming out with. In the beginning, when Tiana told me that you were about to do this, I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly what everyone needs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we'll get into that later. But it's like we're like, okay, so now we're gonna focus on language. We're gonna focus on all the basics, how to understand the basics, why they're called this way, group the different basics into different groups,
Right.
and then also besides just the hip movements, focus on hand positions. What do we call this position? How do you say bend the knees? And together with again another one of my good friends, Hinatel Kolombani, we try to create our own system so then they can really understand the Reo Tahiti,
Right.
why dance movements are called this way and that way. And you know what? Because we don't speak Japanese and because most of them don't speak English, it changed the way that we teach. So now, right when people come into the class, then we do all the basics, just everything in Reo Tahiti, whether they're on Zoom or people are there in class. And there's no more middleman. There's no more English, translation, Japanese. Everything is being done in Reo Tahiti. I mean, as much as we can, you know?
Yes, of course.
I think that helped them understand that Reo Tahiti is the most important. Also, I think for people in Japan, because there's always a big, huge language barrier, whether or not it be French, English, Tahitian, it's pretty much all foreign to them. They really understand just the importance of language.
Yes.
And it's funny because there was a study that was done and they said that Japan was the only country in the world that preferred to write
then speak.
Then speak. Yeah.
Yes. I learned
so
that,
afraid of
believe
making
me.
a mistake. Yeah. And it's really interesting. You know?
Yeah, no, I've learned that, you know, with like a whole year now, we launched our Reo Tahiti courses in Japanese. First of all, it was the hardest job I ever done in my life because, you know, I had to work with the Reo Tahiti Japanese professor, but I had to teach her first. We had to learn it, you know, from each other first before, you know, creating all those things. But yeah, it's true. It was very hard because speaking, it's definitely not their forte. Like they really don't want to speak. They just want to write, and they're like on point, you know. I'm sure the Japanese students are probably much better. I don't want to say that out loud, but much better than the Tahitian when it comes to writing, because you're following every single thing. They don't forget the accent. Like everything is just perfect. But then when it comes to speaking, it's another story. Yeah, so that's very, very interesting. Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, I'm glad the ebook is gonna help because I know not languages is not for everybody. You know, not everybody wants to learn the Reo Tahiti, and it's totally fine. You know, some people are good at it, some people are not. That's just how it is. And so we had to come up with a way where we can help people, like any kind of people, not only the ones who love languages. And so that's why we came up with the ebook, because we had to figure out like something quick for people to learn and something that they can implement right away in class, you know. And so we translated that in Japanese as well, and it took a long time because again, that whole like cultural barrier, it was very interesting. Like for example, the word apa, to kiss in Tahitian, like Japanese people don't understand because we don't apa, like I don't know, maybe in their culture, I'm still discovering, I don't know everything, so I had to explain what apa means, you know. And so it's such a journey with so I mean, I'm so proud of you guys for going through, and even with this language barrier, you still like make an impact, you know, with everything you have done with your group. That's just amazing, Mevina.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. You know, my family loves it here. Japan is an amazing country. My daughters, this is literally like home for them. Of course, they grew up a little bit in the U.S. as well, but they're definitely home base is always Tokyo, Japan.
Oh my goodness. All right. Okay. So Mevina, another question. I wanted to know, like for you, I know you know that it is important to have the Reo Tahiti, you know, part of the Ori Tahiti, but why do you think, if you have to talk to someone who just started with the Ori Tahiti and just getting into it, And what would you tell that person, you know, regarding that, the Reo Tahiti, the Ori Tahiti, like all these, because there's so much components, you know, around the Ori Tahiti. There's the
Yes.
music, there's the language, there's the culture, there's so many things. And so what would you tell that person?
Okay, Reo Tahiti, in my opinion, is the most important for Ori Tahiti. Because seriously, if there was no language, if we had the dance with no language, basically what we'd be doing is Zumba. You know what I mean? It's like
Yes.
it's the Ori Tahiti would not exist without
Yeah.
the language, would not exist without the culture, would not exist without this long history and lineage and ancestry of this place called Tahiti.
Right.
It would just be doing like TikTok motions, which is cool, you know, which is cool, but it wouldn't be called Ori Tahiti.
Yes.
And so the language is the most important factor. I stand by that 100%, you know.
Yeah, it's the foundation, and it's true too, because like I told my student as well, is that for so many years, and it's nobody's fault, but for so many years there were so many dance group, Ori Tahiti dance studios and dance group who were, you know, like excellent at technique, like doing all that stuff, but not really knowing what was happening or what they were dancing about. And it's not their fault. Maybe they had that lack of resources. We didn't have resources anyways before. We had to count on people, you know, we have to rely on people in Tahiti, and they're not always available, you know, to help us.
Oh yeah,
you're not always there, you know, and it's hard. And you know what, even some people are not qualified as well to help you, you know, with the language. That's the reality of things. But you're right, if we don't have that, then it's just mimicking and or dancing to the music, but not really understanding what is happening. And I think
and
there's
the music
one thing
would have no lyrics because there's no, you know, no language.
Yeah, and I that's what I say, that you start with the language first, in language, culture, you start with that, and then the dance is the last part. The dance is the expression of whatever you have, you want to, the message you want to share, you know, with your audience or with whoever you want. So yeah, that is so true. I tell a lot of my students are Ori Tahiti dancers, and I tell them that there's a lot of good dancers here in outside of Tahiti. So good, like, oh my gosh, the arapu is on point. Everything is just amazing. They're great, but they're good, right? But the thing is, I told them, if you want to be great, you have to touch every components, you know, around the Ori Tahiti. It's good to be good. You're good. But you want to be greater, you know, you have to go deeper to arrive at that point.
Exactly. It's funny that you say that, because it is the absolute truth. And like, you know, in the defense of international Ori Tahiti dance teachers, before the resources weren't there.
Yes.
You know, and you say it as well. And that's why, like, when I was so young, I moved to Tahiti. I wanted to learn more because it's just what I wanted to do, you know. And so there was no resources, and people could kind of get away with kind of making up their own, or you know, and I mean, naturally, as a person, you should want to really know about a culture or something, because everyone outside of Tahiti, what we're doing in the international Ori Tahiti world is we're borrowing this culture. You know, it doesn't belong to us, and other people might say otherwise, but when we dance about Tahiti, it's a dance that belongs to Tahiti, and we always have to remember that. So now that there are resources for everyone to learn, there's so many great dance workshops, there's so many great songs, there's a lot of great teachers, but now you have that resource, people like you, POLYLINGUAL, that are going and teaching Reo Tahiti, you know, to people all over the world. And I'm honestly, I'm not trying to do this as like a commercial for you, but Nicole and myself, we took your course and we're just blown away about how smooth, how streamlined it is, how great you are as a teacher, the different formulas that you set up. it really, you really put it into practice if you're an Ori Tahiti, you know,
Yeah.
pupu. And so it's so good. And even there's people like Hinateo Kolobani who broke down the barriers as well. It's like,
Yes.
now if you don't know what the theme is, or you don't know how the whole mentality of the, you know, this whole realm of what is Polynesia, especially Tahiti, I'm going to show you. With those two resources alone, a teacher can really like open up their minds and be like, okay, now we can do it like this. Because I'm sorry to say, maybe people might not agree with me, but whatever, if you're not trying, at least trying, you don't have to perfect it. Like you said, with language, it's so hard. But if you're not trying to learn more about Reo Tahiti, more about the people and the customs and history, then what you're doing is you're not borrowing this culture. You're appropriating this culture.
Right.
You know? And I'm not like a woke person or pro cancel culture or things like that. For those people who maybe haven't thought about it that way, it's not too late. Like, go and try.
Right.
You know, no one's gonna make fun of you because, you know, you didn't know before, you know, but it's ignorant now to just keep on going and, you know, not trying to learn the language.
Yes.
Or things like
no, that's totally true. I actually 100% agree what you just said, because I mean, there's no more excuse for ignorance anymore.
No,
there's no more excuse for that. Now it's time to take action and use those resources and be smart, you know, use it. Why not? It's at your fingertips now, you know, everything is online. We don't have to pay an expensive ticket to go to Tahiti. Of course, the going to Tahiti, it's so much better. I'm sure with your experience, it's so much better, but not everybody can afford, you know, to do that. Not only financially, but even with the time, you know. Here in the US, I'm sure in Japan it's the same thing. They don't have a lot of days off, you know, travel whenever.
And there's no flight right now. Tahiti isn't flying to.
Yeah, so see, even worse. So you know what I mean? So you don't have that, but we have now, thank goodness for the digital space, because we can share knowledge online now and people can learn, you know. So it's true. Try it, do your best, and do what you can, and take what you can also. It doesn't mean, like, especially with language, I never ever expect all my students to learn everything. It's impossible, because it takes time. Learning something, it's a journey, right? You're ready whenever you're ready. It's not like, oh, every day I'm gonna learn Tahitian. Oh my gosh, who does that? Nobody. Nobody does that. It's impossible. So you gotta.
But if you wanted to, you could.
You could. I do have some students who are very, very committed, and even in Japan, actually all of them are 100% like, wow, on top, you know. But I'm proud, you know, I'm proud of that dedication. They have commitment. It's amazing to see. But that's why I'm saying that looking at these guys, though, my language students, looking at them, is that I do see, though, a progress in their journey as an Ori Tahiti. When I see them sometimes compete in all these virtual dance competition, I was like, wow. And I'm not an Ori Tahiti expert. I'm not even a dancer. I don't know, but I understand the language.
It's not too late. You can still start.
No way. No way. But you know what I mean? When I see it, I was like, wow, she gets it. You know, it's talking about this, it's talking about that. It's like, oh, she gets it. So that makes me very happy, because like, wow, see, it's happening, and it's really it's working, it's helping. So I'm glad. So wow.
I mean, even for those people who really are intimidated, don't be, because seriously, like, even for myself, I made so many mistakes in language.
We all do.
But it's like, even in the music, you know, like the first No Sina album, I'm like, no to uhere ya, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know. And you went to Tamamaohi, I'm like, Aruete oa oa. I'm like, why did I say Aruete oa? You know, because I was thinking about something else. So it's a lot of trial and error, but you know, you can do it and you can learn. 100%.
Oh, but without it, you don't progress. Huh? We need to make mistakes. I know it doesn't feel good, but even me as a teacher, I still make so much mistakes. Sometimes my students even correct me. So it's a normal process. But like you said, you have to pass the barrier of being shy. You have to go further and just go with it. And then that's the only, and actually only the ones who are passing that are the one who succeed, because, you know, they were like, okay, I made a mistake. Okay, I'll turn the page. Let's move on.
Yep. Those are the people who probably failed the most. And, you know, we don't see that, or we don't remember that. And it's just like with everything in life, you know?
Right.
So.
That is so cool. My gosh, it's already time. I can't believe I'm not even tired to talk with you.
I know, me neither. And I've been teaching workshops this whole month. I haven't had a day off. Yesterday, I just came back from Sendai. Sendai is up north in Japan, and it was my first time there. And to see, they're putting language in action, you know. So right when I walk in, if you look at my Instagram, my story, you see them all put up the Yorana.
I saw that.
Amaruru with the tarava over the egg.
Yes.
You know, they're really putting it, you know, in action.
The effort, yes.
Yeah, and I'm just like, what an impact, you know, because it wasn't long ago when everyone who really didn't know was like, hey, Yorana. You know,
nobody knew. Even in Tahiti, it's not only outside of Tahiti. Let me tell you, even our own people didn't know. But it's again, it's nobody's fault, because our language was transmitted orally, and we were like, for example, my mom's generation, they were never taught how to write. Like, my mom doesn't know how to write Tahitian. She writes only like the phonetic part. But of course, she speaks like absolutely awesome, but she doesn't know. So we are kind of like the generation who like really dive deep into the writing. But yes, Mevina, I saw on your story. I love that. That means it's happening. People are really making the effort.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I don't know, it's awesome. I think as young Polynesian people like yourself and I, because we're both the same age.
We're young.
Happy belated birthday. We're both 26 years old.
26, I love that.
But it is important to not only just for our language, but it's important for us as parents to really pass on this message, as well as, besides just Reo Tahiti. I'm part of the board of directors for a Samoan language and culture group that basically does the same thing as polylingual. And in Lengafa, we really try to share our language and things like that, because we are Polynesian people, and there's so many of us that make up this whole world, and we're also proud of our identity.
Right.
But the same thing goes with identity. If we don't know our own language, or not trying to perpetuate our language, then all that goes out the door.
Exactly. Oh, I love this. Actually, that's my next. Steve and I were planning next year to join Lingafa. Again, it's to learn other. We're all family. We're all Polynesians, and I think it was important for us to also understand other culture, you know, from Polynesia. So we have planned. Actually, it's on our project, on our goal next year to join Lingafa and learn a little bit more about the Samoan culture. I can't wait. I'm excited for this.
I'm on the board of directors, so yeah, let's talk.
Get me in, please. Please.
Got it.
No, that's on our calendar. We're planning to join again, because there's so like I don't know if we like the Samoan community, they had that before. No, I don't think so. Huh?
No. Because of COVID, everything had to go digital,
right, online,
and I think it was the biggest blessing, you know.
Yeah.
And it's for did it stop? Can you see me?
We're frozen, but hold on. Okay, now we're back. Are you here?
We're back. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's things like polylingual. It's for everyone and the diaspora of like Ori Tahiti. You know, you don't have to be Tahitian. You don't have to be Polynesian. You don't have to be this. If you really love it,
for everyone. Yeah.
If you really love it, then it's for you. But you have to be able to always remember that it doesn't belong to you, and always you know, give respect to Tahiti.
Yeah, no, I actually, you know, this is where one of the greatest motivation behind the idea of really pushing the Reo Tahiti, we know it be like it's part of the Ori Tahiti, but one of the idea also is that after 15 years for me living here in the United States, I saw, like, you know, with Steve, you know, we help a lot of so many people, so many groups here in the US, and I saw how every Ori Tahiti studio are so different. They have their own way of teaching, their own way of, they have their own style, own culture, whatever it is. But the one thing that I've seen is that, so like, since it was taught by Samoan people or Hawaiian people, which is great, because again, me, I'm all about Polynesia, because I consider the Samoan, the Tongan, the Hawaiian, like they're family, they're part of me, you know. And by the way, my DNA tells me the same thing, so it's really true. We're really connected.
We're actually related. Remember?
Yeah. I saw that on essence3.com. Yeah, so you know what, I truly believe that. But when you talk about the respect, you know, the respect of the language or the respect of the culture, I thought to myself as a Tahitian, man, it would be so great if we were teaching the Tahitian dance, the Ori Tahiti, with the language as well, as a respect for its native language, you know. And I'm not saying like, oh, we have to teach the entire class in Tahitian. No, not at all. This is not to push away other languages, but it's also to put them to value that part that is part of the Ori Tahiti, because
mettre en valeur.
Yeah, mettre en valeur. Come on.
Yeah.
Because like when you think about it, like Hawaiian dance, right? Hawaiian dance, there's a lot of language, Hawaiian language involved in the hula, even in class.
So that's much protocol, and yes, it's the nature of hula, you know.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to do the same thing, but I'm just saying that it's good to also like consider that, you know, and value that part. Because I think, again, it's by respect of its native culture, native language, and native everything. So,
yeah.
Well, anyways, Mevina, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, we're so past time, but I'm not tired to speak to you, but I'm sure there will be more conversation in the future. And so I have two last things to ask you. So
yes,
if is there any message, like if there's something that you want to share with the entire Ori Tahiti community, what will be that message that you want to share?
Oh man, I don't know. There's so much I want to say. It's really, the message I want to share is, remember that it belongs to Tahiti. Don't be afraid to innovate, but at the same time, don't innovate without taking anything away from the culture.
Wow, that's a good one.
There is room to innovate, and always stay humble. Even if you've been to Tahiti, or you've danced in the Heva, or you went to conservatoire, you took a workshop. Remember that it doesn't end there. That's not just good enough. And then you can tell everyone, oh, I did this. You know, not saying that those are bad things, because I've done all those things as well. But keep it going, and always remember there's people who this really affects. It's their culture. When we're talking about Ori Tahiti, when we're dancing about these people, I'm talking about your ancestors and your lineage.
Yes.
I'm dancing on behalf of my son, who is Tahitian as well. And I'm talking about, you know, his family, and it's moving on, you know.
Right.
So just don't forget that part. It's not just a business. So, you know, don't. A lot of times different dance groups sometimes get into arguments, or people think, oh, well, I can do it better, so I'm going to do this because I can serve this, you know. Like, go ahead, you know. As long as your intentions are pure and true.
Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah.
My gosh, thank you so much for all these like advice and wisdom, Mevina. This is just amazing. And Oh my gosh, Mevina, thank you. Like I'm thinking, like I have the song POLYNESIA in my head, like playing right now while I'm
Oh
talking to
no.
you. It's so funny. I have a little story about this song POLYNESIA. POLYNESIA is one of my like favorite songs of all time. And growing up in Tahiti, I always listened to Bobby Holcomb, you know, because he was going on TV all the time, and he has his version. But this is how much impact you made in not only my life but so many people, is that I cannot sing anymore Bobby Holcomb's version. It
Oh
has to be
no.
yours. It's gone. Why? This is like the impact that you made to us, you know, as Tahitian people, is that I just can't sing that version. It's always gonna be like po, you know, like
Oh
oh te
no.
mi ti, you know. I just love it. Thank you so much, Mevina, for all your work, you know, especially with the music too. You knew how to find the balance between, you know, all the original songs we have in Tahiti, and even like the people outside can kind of like relate, you know, they can. I think that that's art, you know, to find that
Thank you.
that
That's what I love to do. That's what I try to do. You
yeah,
know,
that
because I'm a lover of all those old school songs as well. You know, and I think really that was my advantage because the age of 17, I was there dancing the Hava, and I was going back and forth in between LA and Tahiti. So Tahiti was such a large part of my life. I feel like I grew up there as well, you know, and I had to fight to learn to speak French, understand Tahitian when someone's yelling and cussing at you in Tahitian. Like, oh man, you know. So it's yeah, just trying to connect those two worlds. I think is always what I try to do.
Yeah, no, and that's why I say I call that art, because it's not easy, you know, to find that balance in between both worlds. So yeah, that you have done to all of us. Are we frozen again?
Yeah, it frozen in. I think we're back.
Okay, good.
Sorry, I
Oh,
haven't even been looking at the comments. But hello, everyone.
yeah, there's so many people who oh my gosh, like from all over.
Yota, my friend. What's up, man? So, okay, so one thing really quick about
Yes,
Japanese people. Yota's a Japanese guy who lives in Tahiti.
yes,
And something that was so cool is during the Hiva Tauria last year, you know,
yes,
it was broadcast live on TV.
right.
Yota was broadcasting it live on Facebook and had his picture in it and was translating in Japanese
Oh
for
my
what
gosh.
the scenes were and everything live. So it's like everyone can watch it live. And he's doing a lot of great things as well.
We need a lot of Yota, because this is amazing. We need people like this.
Yeah. So I don't know. Things like that are so awesome. And
Yeah.
he's not getting paid to do it. He doesn't get
Wow.
anything. He just knows so many people are passionate about it.
Yeah.
So
No, he's bridging, you know, like two worlds together through language. I
yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Maruru Yota, we need you.
Arigato.
Arigato.
And my mom is here. Hi, Mom.
Yeah, there's so many people joining. Oh my gosh. Okay, awesome. Okay. All right. Oh my goodness, Mevina, I have to leave you because it's time, but actually it's way past time, but it's been such a fun time to have this conversation with you, and I really hope we'll have more in the future. And
Yeah.
I hope when you come back here, we'll see each other a bit more. So as for the last thing I want to tell you, as for myself, my husband, my husband Steve, my family, and I hope we can support you with everything you do, and we will be so glad to do, you know, to help, because we know that whatever we're gonna give you, you're gonna use it, and that's what, like, you know, it like motivates us to give even more. And from the entire Ori Tahiti community, I want to ask you, like, how can we support you? How can we support you in your journey? Is there any more music coming up, or how can we support you, Mevina?
My Venmo link is at the bottom. So no, well, thank you. I mean, honestly, you know, you guys are like family. And thank you for everything that you do, because you guys have helped us so many times. we have a few things coming up. Yes, I have so much music I have to put out. I'm just always picky about it sounding good or the mix. And every day I get people in my inbox like, please put this song out, put this song out. But I'm like, I don't want to put it out if it doesn't sound like how I want it to. And I'm learning to use this software. So anyways, music will be out. Just follow me on this Instagram, Mevina_official. And we have December 5th, which would be December 4th for majority of the rest of the world, a free trial class for beginners.
Ooh, okay.
And we're doing both on Zoom and in person here in Japan. The classes will be both in Japanese and English. We did it earlier in October.
Okay.
But we're doing it again, and we're going to open up new classes starting January. If you've never been to any one of my online workshops or one of our classes, the way we try to do Zoom is we really try to make it a lot of fun and interactive. So it's not like another Zoom class that you've ever been to. And we use a lot of Reo Tahiti as well.
Yay.
And we just try to make it fun. Even if English isn't your first language, I think through the Reo Tahiti, you can kind of understand what we're doing. So come check us out. You can go to, again, everything will be on my Instagram, Mevina_official or Tavake_Reata on Instagram. And just, again, thank you for having me.
All right, everyone, you heard him. You heard Mevina. So support December 4th, an upcoming online workshop. And then follow him on Instagram, 2 accounts, Tavake. Oh my gosh, Devika. Tavake_Reata and then, or Mevina. Follow him and then check out his workshop. I wish I'm a dancer. I will totally come, but I'm terrible.
Come, you can just come and watch on Zoom.
It's never too late, right?
Yes, and we are still young.
We're still young. Ay, ay, ay. All right.
Oh, and sorry, one last thing for our people from Japan. We're having a Christmas concert, Island Christmas concert, December 10th. Here, so 12月10日, here in Tokyo. All the information, click on the link in my bio. Island Christmas Concert 2021. Then.
My gosh, and you say you don't speak Japanese? What?
That was so like fake Japanese.
You say more than I do. Oh my gosh, I don't know much. You guys have recitals like we do here in the US as well, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's kind of like our winter one, but we're focusing kind of on, because there's so many foreigners who live here who don't get to go home for the holidays. So me and my good friend Charlie Okumura and another Samoan friend, jazz pianist Elia Ngaitao, we always put together this Christmas concert.
Right.
Singing songs from home, from wherever we're from. And this year, we're doing a collaboration with Tavake Reata. So we're doing some Christmas songs in Tahitian. Well, at least one. So, Oh Holy Night, but in Tahitian.
Oh my gosh.
Do you know all the words?
Yes. I maybe it's been so long. I don't know if I remember. I have to check it out. You have the words?
So good thing if you speak Reo Tahiti, because I have the words, and then just listening, then I kind of just do it on my own. But I think I should double check with you.
I know the song, but it's been so long, so I don't even remember if I remember everything. I'm too Americanized now. No, I'm just kidding.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
Oh goodness. All right, Mevina, maruru mate maruru mate no te propro tatawa e wharere whahotawa I te mateti mua I te mateti muri nei. And so hopefully we'll see each other next year. And then in the meantime, I just want to say thank you one more time to you, Napua, the girls, your family, and everything you have done. I'm so proud and so inspired by everything you have done. And can't wait to see you guys soon. And wishing you guys the best.
Maruru, thank you very much. We love you guys, honestly, and just congratulations on all your success. And can't wait to see you guys.
Marurumete. Bisous.
Bisous.
Nana.
Nana.
Bye, everyone.